Imagine waking up thousands or even millions of years ago. There are no ovens, no stoves, no supermarkets, and most importantly, no fire. You are hungry. So what do you eat? You look around and see trees, bushes, roots, insects, eggs, and animals moving through the grass. Everything you eat must be consumed almost exactly as nature provides it. But here's the surprising part. Humans survived for an incredibly long time before cooking became a regular part of life. So what was actually on the menu? The answer was probably much more varied than you might imagine. Early human ancestors lived in different environments across Africa and later other parts of the world. Their diets depended heavily on whatever food was available around them. One of the easiest foods to find was fruit. Wild fruits could provide carbohydrates, water, and important nutrients. Berries, figs, and other fruits could be eaten without any preparation. But fruit wasn't available everywhere or throughout the entire year, so early humans also searched for roots and underground tubers. These foods could provide valuable energy, but many wild roots were tough and difficult to chew. Some could also contain substances that made them difficult or unsafe to eat without processing. Then there were seeds, nuts, and wild grains. These could contain large amounts of energy, especially from fats and carbohydrates. But there was a problem. Many of these foods were extremely hard. Without metal tools or modern equipment, breaking open a hard nut or crushing a tough seed required serious effort. Early humans had another option: insects. Today, many people think of insects as strange food. For early humans, insects could have been a valuable source of protein and fat. Ants, termites, larvae, and other insects were available in many environments. And, unlike a large animal, an insect didn't require humans to chase it for hours. There were also eggs. Bird nests could provide an extremely valuable food source because eggs contain fats, proteins, and other nutrients. Finding a nest, however, was not always easy. And then there was one of the most important foods of all: meat. But this is where the story becomes complicated. Early humans probably did not always hunt large animals themselves. They may have scavenged meat from animals that had already died or from carcasses left behind by predators. Imagine discovering a freshly killed animal on the African landscape. You don't have a knife, you don't have a metal spear, you don't have a refrigerator, you have only simple stone tools and your own body. Getting access to the valuable meat inside the carcass could be difficult, but stone tools changed the situation. Sharp stone flakes could help humans cut meat and, importantly, access tissues that were difficult to reach with bare hands. Bones could also be broken to reach marrow, and marrow was incredibly valuable because it contains a lot of fat and energy. This is important because early human survival wasn't simply about finding the biggest amount of food. It was about finding high-energy food. A handful of nuts, a fatty piece of meat, an egg, or bone marrow could provide far more usable energy than some low-calorie plant foods. But eating everything raw created another major problem: digestion. Raw food can be difficult to break down. Plant tissues contain tough structures. Some foods require extensive chewing. Raw meat can also be difficult to tear apart. And humans have relatively small jaws and teeth compared with many other primates. So how did our ancestors deal with these challenges? They had several strategies. They could choose softer foods. They could crush or pound foods with stones. They could cut meat into smaller pieces. They could chew food for long periods. And they could avoid foods that were simply too difficult to process. But eventually, something changed. Somewhere in human history, our ancestors gained access to a technology that would completely transform the way food could be eaten: fire. Exactly when humans first began controlling fire is still debated, and evidence from deep prehistory is difficult to interpret. But once controlled fire became part of human life, food could be transformed in a way that stone tools alone could not achieve. Meat could become softer. Some plants could become easier to digest. Tough foods could be transformed, and cooking could make certain foods safer to eat. Cooking was not simply a new way of preparing dinner. It was potentially a completely new way of getting energy from the environment. And that raises a much bigger question. Did cooking actually help change the human body itself? Could cooked food have helped our ancestors survive on more energy-rich foods? Could it have helped support our increasingly energy-hungry brains? And did the control of fire eventually change not only what humans ate, but what humans became? That is where the story gets truly fascinating. Once humans learned to control fire, the relationship between humans and food began to change dramatically. Before cooking, many foods required enormous effort to chew and digest, but heat could transform them. Meat became softer. Some roots and tubers became easier to eat. Certain plants became more digestible, and cooking could reduce harmful compounds in some foods. This meant humans could potentially get more usable energy from the same food. And energy was extremely important. The human brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in the body. As our ancestors evolved larger and more complex brains, finding enough calories became increasingly important. Cooking may have helped solve part of that problem, but fire did more than change food. It changed where humans could live. A fire provided warmth during cold nights. It could help keep some predators away. It created light after sunset, allowing people to remain active after dark. And perhaps most importantly, fire created a social space. Imagine a group of early humans sitting around a fire at night. They could share food, communicate, protect one another, and remain together long after the sun disappeared. The fire became more than a tool. It became a gathering place. But there is still a major mystery. Scientists do not know exactly when humans first began regularly cooking food. Evidence for ancient fire can be difficult to interpret. A natural wildfire can leave burned material, just as a controlled fire can. Archaeologists therefore look for multiple clues: burned bones, charcoal, hearths, repeated fire locations, and evidence that fires were deliberately maintained. The evidence becomes stronger at later archaeological sites, but the exact beginning of controlled fire remains a subject of debate. What we do know is that fire eventually became one of the most important technologies in human history. It changed food, it changed survival, it changed human behavior, and it may have helped shape our bodies. Think about the difference between eating a raw root and eating a cooked one. The cooked food can be softer and easier to process. The same basic plant can become much more accessible to the human digestive system. The same principle applies to many foods. Cooking is essentially a form of external digestion. Instead of forcing your teeth and digestive system to do all the work, heat begins breaking down food before it even enters your body. That could have enormous consequences over thousands of generations. Humans eventually developed smaller teeth and jaws than many earlier primates, while our brains became much larger. Scientists still debate exactly how much cooking contributed to this transformation, but one thing is clear: fire gave humans something incredibly powerful: control over their food. They were no longer limited to eating everything exactly as nature provided it. They could transform food. They could make it softer. They could make some foods safer. They could preserve certain foods through techniques such as smoking or drying near heat. And they could gather around a shared source of warmth and light. From that point forward, food was no longer simply something humans found. It became something humans could transform. That was a massive turning point. Before fire, humans had to adapt themselves to the food available in nature. After fire became a regular part of human life, humans could begin adapting food to themselves. And that relationship would eventually lead to agriculture, bread, fermentation, cooking traditions, kitchens, restaurants, and the enormous food systems we have today. So what did humans eat before fire? They ate what nature gave them: fruits, roots, seeds, nuts, insects, eggs, and sometimes meat and marrow. But fire changed the rules. It turned difficult food into more manageable food and gave humans a powerful new way to extract energy from their environment. The first human kitchen may have been nothing more than a small fire surrounded by stones. But from that simple beginning came one of the biggest transformations in human history. Before fire, humans found food. After fire, humans began transforming it. And that simple difference helped shape the world we live in today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the food of early humans, subscribe for more fascinating stories about ancient humans, food, evolution, science, and civilization. Stay curious and keep asking why.